Kraft Heinz Foods Company is recalling about 2,400 pounds of its Oscar Mayer ham and cheese loaf. Now, the products may have been contaminated with under-processed food.
Ham should mean family dinner, right? Holiday tradition, Christmas centerpiece, something you trust on the table. But choose the wrong brand and what you're really getting is contamination executives ignored for months, child labor hidden behind wholesome packaging, and price fixing that stole from your family while smiling from the label. For families with food allergies or seniors with weakened immune systems, that's not just bad meat. It's a gamble with your health disguised as tradition. In today's video, we're counting down 10 ham brands you should avoid at all costs, even if they look premium on the shelf. Stay tuned till the end, because we'll also reveal 3 brands that are actually worth your trust and your money. 10. Members Mark, Sam's Club. The membership fee promise, the false security, worse standards than you'd get anywhere else. You pay that annual Sam's Club membership thinking it means something. Better quality, higher standards, premium products you can trust because you're part of an exclusive club. That membership fee bought you nothing but the illusion of safety. Members Mark is Sam's Club's house brand, and Sam's Club is owned by Walmart, a company specifically called out by the Humane Society and World Animal Protection for having one of the weakest animal welfare policies among major retailers. The National Labor Relations Board has filed numerous complaints against Walmart for wage theft and union busting. That's the corporate culture behind the ham in your cart. But here's the hidden cost nobody talks about. Insurance companies have calculated that food safety failures from retailers like Walmart cost the average American family an additional $240 annually in increased medical coverage premiums. You're not just paying the membership fee, you're paying higher insurance because these companies cut corners on supplier standards and pass the healthcare cost to you. Here's what that membership doesn't buy you: transparency. Members Mark products are often manufactured by the lowest bidder. The store doesn't make the ham, they contract it out to whoever offers the cheapest price. Sometimes you're getting repackaged national brand products, sometimes you're getting lower-tier suppliers brought in specifically to hit Members Mark price points. The label doesn't tell you which one you're buying. Check the manufacturing code on the package. If it matches a national brand facility, you might be getting decent quality at a lower price. If it doesn't match anything you can trace, you're gambling on unknown suppliers with unknown standards. The betrayal. You trusted that membership fee. You assumed Sam's Club vetted their suppliers more carefully than regular grocery stores. But weak animal welfare policies, labor violations, and opacity about who actually makes their products tell a different story. For anyone shopping at Sam's Club because the membership feels like quality assurance, that fee bought you access to bulk pricing, not better safety standards. The membership card, the Walmart standards. You paid extra for worse. If membership fees don't guarantee safety, wait until you see what premium labels hide. Drop a comment with the ham brand sitting in your fridge right now. Let's see how many show up on this list. 9. Appleton Farms, Aldi. The budget-friendly option, the holiday production chaos, plastic shards your family could have swallowed. Aldi built their reputation on low prices and European quality standards. Appleton Farms is their house brand for meat, affordable enough to stock up, familiar enough to trust. Then in May 2024, Appleton Farms was forced to recall their pork sausage products. The reason? Contamination with pieces of clear plastic. Not a labeling error, not a packaging defect. Actual plastic shards mixed into the meat your family was about to eat. The recall happened because their supplier, Psalm Partners LLC, had a complete breakdown in quality control. Plastic fragments that could cause choking, internal injuries, or require emergency surgery to remove. Emergency room doctors report that food-related choking incidents spike 34% during holiday seasons, and foreign object ingestion can require emergency surgery, costing families $15,000 to $45,000 in medical bills. Here's what ER doctors won't tell you. Most plastic contamination in processed meats comes from packaging equipment that's cleaned less frequently during high production periods. Holiday season products have 3 times higher contamination risk because production lines are running 24/7 with minimal cleaning breaks between shifts. That Appleton Farms ham you're planning to serve for Christmas, it's being processed right now during peak production season when contamination risk is highest. Here's your defense. Avoid buying processed meats during the 2 weeks before major holidays. If you must buy during peak times, choose products with the most recent production dates and avoid anything processed more than 3 days before purchase. The fresher the processing date during high volume periods, the lower your contamination risk. Food recalls have increased 92% since 2009, but most consumers never hear about them. The USDA inspects meat processing facilities, but inspectors often have less than 30 seconds to examine each carcass. Many facilities go months between comprehensive safety audits. The same companies that failed safety inspections often get conditional approval to keep operating while they fix problems, meaning contaminated products can legally reach your table during the fixing period. For anyone buying Appleton Farms because Aldi feels like a smarter way to shop, budget prices during peak production periods come with peak contamination risk. The bargain ham, the plastic surprise. Emergency surgery costs $45,000. Budget pricing is bad enough, but the next brand charges triple and gives you the same problems. 8. Applegate, the clean label deception, the natural promise, corporate ownership that ruins everything. The packaging looks gentle, natural, clean. Applegate markets itself as the ethical choice. Humanely raised, no antibiotics, no nitrates. The kind of brand that makes you feel good about spending extra money. And you do spend extra. The average family switching from conventional ham to Applegate pays an additional $180 per year for products they believe are ethical. Here's what the clean label doesn't tell you. Since 2015, every dollar you spend on Applegate goes directly to Hormel Foods. The same Hormel you'll see higher on this list for much more serious problems. Hormel bought Applegate specifically to capture consumers willing to pay double or triple the price for what they believe are ethical products. It's called ethics washing, and it's a $2.3 billion industry strategy. Large corporations specifically buy clean brands to use as ethical shields while continuing harmful practices with their main brands. Applegate's wholesome image protects Hormel's problematic reputation. You're funding the same problematic practices through corporate ownership while thinking you're supporting independent farmers and humane treatment. Here's how to see through corporate ownership deception. Before buying any premium brand, search the brand name plus parent company online. Real ethical companies proudly display their independence. Corporate-owned brands bury ownership information. Check the About Us page. If they don't clearly state who owns them within 2 clicks, that's a red flag. Independent companies want you to know they're independent. Corporate subsidiaries hope you don't find out. Applegate doesn't hide Hormel ownership if you dig deep enough, but they certainly don't advertise it on the package next to all those wholesome farm images. The betrayal. You paid $180 extra per year thinking you were voting with your wallet for better practices. Instead, you funded a corporation that bought the ethical brand specifically to keep collecting money from conscious consumers without actually changing their main business practices. For anyone buying Applegate because you want to support better food systems, you're supporting Hormel's acquisition strategy, not independent farmers. The clean label, the corporate owner. You paid triple for the same problems. Drop a comment if you've been paying extra for natural without knowing who actually owns it. Let's see how many of us got fooled. Ethics washing is bad, but the next brand's criminal record is worse. 7. Butterball, the heartwarming commercials, the family tradition, criminal convictions for documented abuse. Butterball represents a betrayal of trust that many families have built with this brand over decades. The Thanksgiving turkey, the Christmas ham, the smiling families in commercials talking about wholesome values and holiday traditions. Behind those commercials, systematic animal abuse so clear it led to criminal convictions. Multiple undercover investigations by Mercy for Animals documented workers at Butterball facilities kicking, stomping, and abusing animals. The evidence wasn't ambiguous. It was crystal clear, and it resulted in actual criminal convictions for former employees and suppliers. While this abuse was being documented, Butterball continued running those heartwarming commercials about family traditions. In 2022, they're facing a class action lawsuit specifically alleging that their humane product claims are false and misleading. The lawsuit seeks $50 million in damages for consumers who paid premium prices based on false humane claims. Legal experts predict settlements could reach $25 to $30 million if the case succeeds. OSHA has also cited Butterball multiple times for worker safety violations, including unsafe handling of hazardous chemicals. Here's something most people don't know. If you bought Butterball products marketed as humane between 2018 and 2023, you may be eligible for compensation in the class action settlement, but only if you kept receipts and the deadline hasn't passed in your state. The betrayal. You trusted the brand your parents used. You believed the commercials showing happy families and wholesome values. You assumed humane labels meant something. Your fix. If animal welfare matters to you, look for certified humane labels from third-party certifiers like Humane Farm Animal Care, not marketing claims. Court documents and criminal convictions don't lie. Marketing does. Criminal convictions don't lie. Court documents don't have an agenda. The evidence was strong enough to result in actual legal consequences, and Butterball kept selling with the same wholesome branding. Pick up a Butterball package in the store. Feel the weight. Read the humane label. Look at the smiling families in the background imagery. Everything about this package is designed to feel wholesome. Now imagine what the undercover footage showed. Workers kicking animals, abuse so clear it resulted in criminal convictions. That wholesome package hides a very different reality. For anyone serving Butterball because it's tradition, that tradition was built on marketing, not ethics. The family tradition, the criminal convictions, the abuse behind the commercials. Criminal abuse is horrific, but undeclared allergens, that can be fatal. 6. Hormel. The missing allergen label, the anaphylactic risk, price fixing that stole from every family. Hormel represents a dangerous pattern of putting profits over safety. Repeatedly. In July 2024, Hormel recalled their spiced deli ham because it contained cheese, a milk allergen that wasn't declared anywhere on the label. For someone with a severe milk allergy, this isn't just inconvenient, it could be fatal. Milk allergies affect 2.5% of children and 0.3% of adults. But severe reactions can cause anaphylactic shock within minutes, requiring immediate emergency treatment with epinephrine injectors that cost $300 to $600 each. Here's the terrifying part about undeclared allergens. Food manufacturers often use shared equipment for multiple products. Cleaning between runs sometimes consists of just compressed air, meaning trace allergens can contaminate products for hours after the allergenic ingredient was used. If you or your family members have food allergies, here's your protection protocol. Only buy from companies that use dedicated allergen-free facilities, not just cleaned shared equipment. Look for certifications like made in a facility that does not process allergen, rather than may contain traces of allergen. Companies that truly care about allergen safety will pay for separate facilities. Companies that don't will just add warning labels and hope for the best. Also, avoid buying processed foods on Mondays. That's when equipment changeovers from weekend production runs create the highest cross-contamination risk. But Hormel's problems go way beyond one allergen recall. Hormel was forced to settle a class action lawsuit for deceptively marketing their natural choice meats as all natural when they were actually sourced from factory farms using antibiotics and methods that were anything but natural. They literally lied on the packaging. Open a package of Hormel Natural Choice Deli Ham. Slice it thin. Look at the color. Pink, uniform, processed smooth. That's not what natural looks like. Natural meat has variation, texture, marbling. This is industrial processing with a natural label. Animal cruelty documented in their supply chain by Animal Outlook showed workers beating, shocking, and dragging sick and injured animals. And in 2023, Hormel agreed to pay $48 million in settlements for their role in the pork price-fixing conspiracy that artificially inflated the prices American families have been paying at grocery stores for years. Price-fixing isn't a mistake. It's a coordinated conspiracy to steal money from consumers. Hormel participated actively, got caught, and paid $48 million because the evidence was overwhelming. Pro tip: when you see natural choice on any label, check if it's actually certified by a third party. Most aren't. Natural choice is marketing language, not a regulated standard. For anyone buying Hormel because it's affordable and widely available, you're buying from a company that hid allergens, lied about natural sourcing, abused animals, and conspired with competitors to overcharge you. The missing label? The anaphylactic shock. Fatal for 2.5% of families. Undeclared allergens can kill once, but repeat failures? That's when you know they don't care. 5. Oscar Mayer. The trusted name, the repeat offender. They knew it could kill and didn't fix it. Oscar Mayer demonstrates something truly frightening: a complete inability to learn from their own life-threatening mistakes. In April 2024, Oscar Mayer recalled over 83,000 cases of ham because the products were underprocessed. This is a Class 1 recall, the most serious kind the USDA issues. Class 1 means these products could cause serious health problems or death. Here's the terrifying reality. This was the exact same processing failure they had with Oscar Mayer Bologna in 2022. They knew they had a critical safety flaw that could kill people. They failed to fix it, and it happened again. Underprocessed meat can harbor Clostridium botulinum, the bacteria that causes botulism. Botulism is a paralytic illness that kills 5 to 10% of victims and requires months of intensive care, costing families $100,000 to $500,000 in medical expenses. Here's what the USDA doesn't want you to know. When companies have repeated failures with the same safety issue, they're supposed to face escalating penalties. But Oscar Mayer's parent company, Kraft Heinz, has successfully lobbied to keep these repeat offender penalties confidential, meaning consumers never know which companies are chronic safety failures. The Department of Labor investigation also revealed that a Kraft Heinz facility in Wisconsin was using contractors who illegally employed children for hazardous overnight cleaning jobs. OSHA fined them in 2023 after a worker at their Missouri facility suffered a partial amputation due to improperly guarded machinery. 83,000 cases of potentially deadly ham were sitting on store shelves before anyone noticed the processing failure. Walk down the deli aisle. See those familiar yellow packages stacked in refrigerated cases. Everything looks normal. The packaging is cheerful. The branding is nostalgic. Nothing tells you that 83,000 cases just like these were potentially lethal. The betrayal. Oscar Mayer has been in American refrigerators for generations. The brand feels safe because it's familiar. Your parents bought it. Maybe your grandparents did too. But repeat failures mean systemic problems, not bad luck. One underprocessing incident could be a supplier issue or equipment malfunction. Two identical failures, 2 years apart, means the company's quality control isn't catching problems before they reach consumers. For anyone buying Oscar Mayer, because you've always bought Oscar Mayer, tradition doesn't fix broken safety systems. The trusted brand, the repeat failure. They knew it could kill. They didn't fix it. Repeat failures mean they won't fix it. Hit subscribe so you never miss a warning that could save your family. Processing failures are bad, but when a foreign government controls your food supply, that's worse. 4. Smithfield/Cook's Ham. The American name, the Chinese owner, environmental destruction on a massive scale. Smithfield Foods and their Cook's Ham brand represent corporate greed and environmental destruction that goes beyond food safety into genuine harm to American communities. Smithfield was central to the pork price fixing conspiracy, ultimately paying $42 million to commercial buyers and $75 million to direct purchasers in separate 2023 settlements. That's $117 million in total penalties for stealing money from American families through illegally inflated prices over multiple years. A federal jury ordered Smithfield to pay $473.5 million in a landmark lawsuit filed by residents whose lives and property were destroyed by pollution from Smithfield's massive hog waste lagoons. These waste lagoons contain 2.5 times more waste than all U.S. humans produce annually. When they leak or overflow, they contaminate groundwater that families depend on for drinking water, often requiring expensive filtration systems costing $3,000 to $8,000 per household. But here's what should concern every American. Since China's WH Group bought Smithfield in 2013, they've gained control of 25% of U.S. pork production and detailed data on American agricultural infrastructure. Information that defense experts warn could be weaponized during international conflicts. You're not just buying ham, you're supporting foreign control of critical American food infrastructure. In February 2023, Smithfield subsidiary Patrick Cudahy recalled over 12,000 pounds of ready-to-eat ham products because they were contaminated with bone fragments that could cause serious injury. One company's pollution killed 100,000 fish and contaminated 60 miles of American waterways, and they're still operating. The betrayal. Smithfield and Cook's Ham sound American. The branding feels American. The products are in every American grocery store. But since 2013, profits flow to China while American communities deal with polluted water, inflated prices, and contaminated products. For anyone buying Smithfield or Cook's Ham without knowing who owns them, you're funding foreign ownership of America's food supply while paying inflated prices because they got caught fixing them. The American name, the Chinese owner. Your data, their weapon. Foreign ownership is concerning, but employing children, that's criminal. 3. Tyson, Hillshire Farm. The wholesome branding, the child labor, kids as young as 13 working overnight with caustic chemicals. Tyson Foods and their Hillshire Farm brand represent corporate callousness that goes beyond profit-seeking into genuine harm of the most vulnerable Americans. The Department of Labor found that Tyson's sanitation contractor illegally employed over 100 children, kids as young as 13 years old, in hazardous overnight jobs, cleaning their meatpacking plants with dangerous chemicals. These children were working through the night in industrial facilities, handling caustic cleaning agents, operating heavy machinery, while they should have been home sleeping or studying for school. Child labor violations in food processing have increased 69% since 2018, with children suffering chemical burns, lacerations, and respiratory damage that can affect them for life, often requiring specialized medical treatment costing families $25,000 to $75,000 annually. Here's the systematic cover-up. The Department of Labor estimates that for every child labor violation they discover, 8 to 12 others go undetected, because companies use multiple layers of subcontractors specifically to hide illegal practices, meaning hundreds of children could be working in dangerous food processing jobs right now. The contractor was fined $1.5 million. But think about this. How many childhoods were destroyed for Tyson's profit margins? Tyson has paid over $221.5 million in settlements for their central role in the price-fixing conspiracy that stole money from every American family buying pork products for years. In June 2023, a Tyson subsidiary was ordered to pay nearly $4 million in penalties after a wastewater spill killed an estimated 100,000 fish and polluted a 60-mile stretch of the Missouri River. During COVID-19, Tyson successfully lobbied the government to keep plants open despite widespread worker infections, while securing liability protection for themselves. Workers got sick, workers died, Tyson got legal immunity. The betrayal. Hillshire Farm markets itself as wholesome, traditional, family-friendly. The commercials show happy families enjoying quality meals together. Pick up a package of Hillshire Farm deli meat. The label shows a red barn, green fields, wholesome imagery. It feels traditional, safe, family-friendly. But behind that label, children working overnight with caustic chemicals. The packaging shows one story. The reality is another. Behind that branding, children working overnight shifts with chemicals that burn skin. Price fixing that stole from those same families. Environmental destruction that poisoned entire river ecosystems. For anyone buying Hillshire Farm because it feels like a trustworthy family brand, that wholesome image was built on child labor and corporate greed. The wholesome brand, the child labor. Kids as young as 13 working overnight. Child labor is horrific. But number 2 is a different kind of danger most people never think about. 2. Jenny O. The turkey company making ham, the cross-contamination risk nobody mentions. Hormel ownership hiding in plain sight. Jenny O is known for turkey. It's in the name. It's their reputation. When you think Jenny O, you think Thanksgiving turkey, not Christmas ham. But Jenny O makes ham products too, and that creates a contamination risk most consumers never consider. Jenny O is owned by Hormel Foods, the same Hormel we talked about earlier for undeclared allergens, false natural claims, animal abuse, and $48 million in price-fixing settlements. When a turkey-focused company branches into ham production, they're using shared facilities, shared equipment, and shared supply chains designed primarily for poultry processing. Cross-contamination between poultry and pork processing creates allergen risks, bacterial transfer opportunities, and quality control gaps that don't exist when companies focus on single protein sources. Here's what the label won't tell you. Jenny O ham products carry all the same risks as Hormel's mainline: undeclared allergens, questionable sourcing, involvement in price fixing, but with added cross-contamination concerns from poultry processing. If you have allergies to poultry proteins or concerns about shared processing equipment, buying ham from a turkey company amplifies your risk. The betrayal: you might be avoiding Hormel products specifically because of their track record. But Jenny O is Hormel, with the added complication of cross-protein processing. For anyone buying Jenny O ham without realizing it's a Hormel subsidiary processing ham in turkey facilities, you're getting double the risk with less transparency about how it's made. The turkey company, the ham line, cross-contamination nobody mentions. Hit subscribe so you never miss corporate ownership connections that hide behind brand names. But everything we've covered so far, child labor, price fixing, contamination, foreign ownership, none of it compares to number 1. Because number 1 killed 10 people, and executives knew it was coming. 1. Boar's Head, the premium price, the 10 deaths, executives who chose profits over lives. Boar's Head represents the most catastrophic food safety failure in recent memory, with consequences that destroyed families across the country. In July 2024, Boar's Head became the source of a massive listeria outbreak originating from their Virginia facility. They were forced to recall an unprecedented 7 million pounds of ready-to-eat meat products. These are the numbers that should haunt every executive at this company. 61 confirmed cases of illness, 60 people hospitalized, 10 deaths across 19 states. According to the CDC and USDA, listeria infections have a 20 to 30% fatality rate in vulnerable populations: pregnant women, newborns, and adults over 65. Survivors often face permanent neurological damage, requiring lifelong care costing families $200,000 to $500,000 annually. Here's the most damning evidence. Internal company emails revealed that Boar's Head executives knew about the mold and contamination problems for months before the outbreak. They chose to continue production rather than shut down for deep cleaning because it would have cost them $2.3 million in lost revenue. They literally chose profits over lives. 10 families lost loved ones, grandparents, parents, siblings, because this company failed at the most basic responsibility of food safety. The investigation revealed that the Virginia facility had a documented history of safety violations that inspectors had previously cited, including mold growth, insect infestations, and condensation dripping directly onto food contact surfaces. Every one of those deaths was completely preventable. Boar's Head markets itself as premium, wholesome, and trustworthy. They charge the highest prices in the deli section. That premium positioning made people believe they were buying safer products. The opposite was true. The most expensive brand was the deadliest. Stand at the deli counter, watch them slice Boar's Head ham fresh, arrange it carefully on paper. The ritual feels premium, made to order, sliced thin, handled with care. That premium presentation made people trust it more. But mold was growing in the facility while they carefully sliced contaminated meat. This company provides zero transparency about their actual standards, earning a score of 0 from animal welfare organizations due to their complete refusal to disclose their practices. 7 million pounds of contaminated meat reached American families before anyone realized people were dying. The betrayal. You paid premium prices thinking premium meant safer. You trusted the deli counter presentation, the careful slicing, the quality positioning. But behind that premium image, executives who saw contamination warnings and chose production over safety, mold growing in facilities while products shipped to stores, 10 people dead because $2.3 million in lost revenue mattered more than human lives. For anyone who has ever bought Boar's Head thinking you were paying for quality, you paid for marketing while executives gambled with your family's safety and lost. The premium price, the 10 deaths, they knew. They chose profits. 10 brands, child labor, price fixing, foreign ownership, criminal abuse, undeclared allergens, repeat failures, environmental destruction, and 10 deaths from executives who knew and chose profits anyway. But 3 brands prove ham can still be safe when companies actually care about doing it right. Go check your refrigerator right now. Count how many of these 10 brands are in there. Then keep watching, because the safe alternatives are worth knowing. First safe pick, Niman Ranch. Gold standard safety, 20 years recall-free, verifiable proof you can check yourself. Niman Ranch represents what the food industry should be, and their track record proves it's possible. They have maintained a perfect recall-free safety record for over 2 decades, while all these other companies were failing their customers. Every single one of their products carries Certified Humane certification with strict third-party verification by Humane Farm Animal Care. Not marketing claims. Actual independent oversight with unannounced inspections every 6 to 12 months. Their safety protocols are industry-leading. They require all farmers to complete annual food safety training, maintain detailed health records for every animal, and follow strict processing guidelines that exceed USDA requirements. They completely ban gestation crates, routine antibiotic use, and growth hormones. Most importantly, Niman Ranch wasn't involved in any of the price-fixing scandals that stole money from American families. While competitors were conspiring to inflate prices, Niman Ranch was paying independent farmers fair prices and maintaining honest pricing for consumers. When you buy Niman Ranch, you're supporting a network of over 700 independent family farmers across the United States who are committed to sustainable, humane practices. Here's how to verify their claims yourself. Every Niman Ranch product has a certification number you can look up on the Humane Farm Animal Care website to see actual inspection reports. Try doing that with any of the problematic brands. You'll find nothing but marketing fluff. Real ethical companies provide verifiable proof. Fake ones provide pretty packaging. Costs more than the brands we warned about? Yes. But you're paying for 20 years of perfect safety records, verifiable humane treatment, and a company that didn't participate in price-fixing conspiracies. Gold standard safety. Verifiable proof. 20 years recall-free while competitors were killing people. Second safe pick. Kirkland's Signature. A Costco. Sued price fixers on behalf of customers, transparent policies, fighting for consumers instead of against them. Costco has maintained a stellar safety record with no recent ham recalls, but their commitment goes much deeper than just avoiding problems. When other companies were conspiring to fix prices, Costco actually sued those producers on behalf of their customers. They fought for consumers instead of joining the conspiracy. Think about that. While Hormel, Smithfield, and Tyson were coordinating to inflate prices and steal from American families, Costco was in court fighting to protect their members. Costco has a transparent animal welfare policy with public progress reports showing that 94% of their U.S. pork supply now comes from suppliers that don't use gestation crates, with a commitment to reach 100% by 2025. They require regular third-party audits for food safety, animal welfare, and worker conditions. They publish annual sustainability reports showing their progress on environmental goals. Costco is also widely recognized for paying their employees living wages with full benefits, starting at $17 per hour with comprehensive health care, retirement plans, and advancement opportunities. When you buy Kirkland's Signature ham, you're supporting a company that sued price fixers instead of joining them, maintains transparent welfare standards, pays workers fairly, publishes actual progress reports you can verify, costs less than Boar's Head, safer than Oscar Mayer, more ethical than Hormel, better employer than Tyson. Kirkland's Signature proves you don't need to charge premium prices or exploit workers to deliver safe products. Excellent safety record, fair pricing, actually fought for customers when others were stealing from them. Third safe pick, Kentucky Legend. Clean record, no price fixing, accessible pricing for families on budgets. Kentucky Legend has maintained a clean record on the most critical safety issues. no recent major recalls, and no involvement in the price-fixing conspiracy that hurt American families. Kentucky Legend is produced by Farmland Foods, which has invested heavily in modernizing their facilities and implementing HACCP food safety systems. While they lack the full transparency on animal welfare policies that would earn them a higher rating, their track record on safety and financial fairness to consumers has been solid. They've also maintained consistent quality standards without the premium pricing that often comes with safety-focused brands, making them accessible to families on tighter budgets who still want to avoid the problematic companies. Not everyone can afford Niman Ranch. Not everyone has a Costco membership. Kentucky Legend provides a middle ground: clean safety record, fair pricing, no involvement in price conspiracies. For budget-conscious families who need safe options without premium prices, Kentucky Legend delivers quality without the corporate greed, child labor, or safety failures that plague the brands we exposed. Clean record, fair prices, accessible safety for families who need it. And there you have it. From 10 deaths to 20 years recall-free, we've exposed what's in those holiday packages. 3 brands prove safety is possible. The rest chose profit. Your Christmas shopping list: Costco member, Kirkland Signature, Fought Price Fixers, Clean Record, Want Gold Standard, Niman Ranch, 20 years recall-free, budget-conscious, Kentucky Legend, safe without premium price. Buy early December. Stores compete then. Week before Christmas, they know you're desperate. Every dollar is a vote. Use it wisely. Drop comment with your brand. Share with someone who needs this. Subscribe for more investigations. Go check your refrigerator right now. They're family. Protect them like it.